Hello, mindful friends. Today we're going to be talking about what we do when things fall apart and how we can use our mindful practice to support us when things aren't quite going our way or we are facing difficulty or pain or suffering. And last week we went over the truth that we cannot avoid difficulty and pain and loss and suffering in our lives. That it's just a part of existence. It goes into the harmony and the balance of life, like the teaching of the mud and the lotus, that you cannot have the lotus without the mud. And this week we're going to look at, well, then what do we do? So we can't avoid it. We're not using mindfulness to avoid suffering, to avoid the difficulty in our lives. So then what are we using it for? And it's never, our self-care practices, our meditation practice, our mindful practice, whatever it is that we do to take care of ourselves, they're not there to guarantee that we won't ever suffer or that everything will be perfect in our lives. But they are there to give us that support when things are hard. And the way that they give us the support, and especially mindfulness, is it reminds us what really is important. And especially mindfulness, because it brings us back into the present moment and helps us to recognize what are the conditions of happiness right here and right now. And we can stay connected to how we are doing, to what we are experiencing. So through the pain, through the difficulty, we're able to remain present. And when we get in trouble is when we really are trying to avoid. We don't want to feel this. We don't want to go through this. What are all the ways I can do to get away from this? I can turn to substance abuse. Our addictive habits come up. We can try to fight it. So maybe we get angry and aggressive. We run away. We get depressed and we hide. So these are the ways we're avoiding, we're trying to get away from. And what our self-care practices do and our mindfulness practice is say, you don't have to do that. You don't have to use those vices and those runaway techniques to be okay. You can come back home and be present with what's happening without diving into the negativity, without letting it take you over. So it allows us that space within our being where we create this openness and this curiosity that we can observe the experience without getting drowned by it. And in mindfulness, what you do is you recognize, first you're paying attention to what's happening to us, and we recognize, right now I'm struggling. This is hard. And we can say it out loud even, and say it to ourselves. Pain is here. Struggle is here. It's okay that it's here. And we may say, I'm here for you. And we can say, my mindfulness is here too. So that the struggle and the suffering is not alone. It's not the only experience. We also have the mindful presence with the struggle. So it comes in as this supporting light, this supporting system. And once we recognize, that's our first step, is that we're not needing to run away. We're not needing to hide. We're saying, I see you, and it's okay that you're here, and I am here too to support you. And we can begin to listen and observe. And we notice, where is the suffering coming from? What am I afraid of feeling? What am I wanting to avoid, and why? Why don't I want to experience this? Because this experience, right, if we return to the previous lesson, it's happening for us, not to us. So it's pointing to something in you that you have not developed a resource or a skill or healed a past wound so that you can go through this in a balanced, centered way. So it's happening for you to help point to those things. So we're asking, why do I need to avoid this? And what is that pointing to that's going to help me grow? It's helping me in some way, pointing to something that I need to strengthen or heal. So what is that? And as we're listening and we're noticing, then we start moving into the nurturing. This is when we develop those new skills. We reach out to our resources. We dig deep within ourselves and we say, what do I need to build here so this no longer feels so threatening, so scary, so awful? What do I need to strengthen within me so that foundation is so strong within my own internal state that I'm not rocked by this storm? That the storm can happen, right? Because they're gonna happen in life. Those storms, they come. You can't avoid them. But how are you gonna make your ship so strong that, yeah, you feel the waves, yeah, you notice the storm, that lightning, it is scary, but your ship will keep floating? And what is that for you? That you don't have to jump ship and start avoiding or harm yourself in other ways because you can't handle this storm. But you can stay grounded, centered, on your ship, on that internal island of peace and well-being, remembering what takes care of you and feeding those energies. So as we're nurturing, we're also developing this deep understanding of self, of where are those places that my ship is weak, it has a hole, it has, a broken sail. Where are those places that I can't nurture because I'm not quite strong enough? And without that kind of research into being able to nurture brings us to those new resources. Maybe we need to reach out to someone for help. We need to join a group. We need to listen to some podcasts and Dharma talks. We need, get your supports. Reach out, find the help so that you are able to nurture. And as we're nurturing and coming back to center, we're remembering our true intentions. Right? So as we're nurturing back into this peace place, this centered place where we know our ship it's gonna survive the storm, now this is where the true growth happens. This is how suffering and difficulty really transform you. That it's here when you've kind of found that center, and now it points to the things, what really matters. So in that suffering, I guarantee it's because you lost something, or you had to struggle with something, or you were afraid of losing something. A job, your health, a relationship, your shelter, possessions, money. You're losing something that you were clinging to as your source of well-being. And this is what Pema Chodron points to in her book of when things fall apart and you find this groundless state, is that when it happens, you start recognizing those are false handholds, false sources of true happiness. that they come and they go. We will lose them. They will shift. It will alter. There will be uncertainty in our health, in our relationships, in our money, in our status, that those are not consistent handholds. And this is where these experiences serve you best. Because as you're losing those handholds, as they fall away, you have to come back to center and find, what are my true sources of grounding, stability, and happiness? And as you start finding these, that these are internal, and they are energies, and they are states of being, and they are things that follow you through every storm, carry you through everything. And that is what these situations are trying to help you remember. Your well-being is on who you are being, your perception of the world, the relationship you're creating with it, and what you're holding within you. So as you lose more and more of the false handholds, your true ones, your internal ones, become stronger and stronger. And your ability to stay happy and peaceful through all experiences increases dramatically. And what this points to is true purpose. So as you're not clinging to those false handholds, needing that status, needing that relationship, needing your health, now you're centering on true purpose. What am I really doing here? What's actually most important to me? How am I serving the greater system through any experience, no matter what's happening to me? And that these experiences grow your compassion, they grow your understanding, and they grow your ability to then serve and help others and play your role in the greater system. So, this week, I invite you to look into those sufferings in your life and ask yourself, how can I use these to transform and to get to know the real me and my real purpose? If you enjoy these little talks and you would like to join us for a group session or individual coaching, you can find us at newleafmindfulness.com. I hope to see you all very soon.